Have you ever looked at a good man who gives his whole heart, provides stability, loyalty, and care, only to watch the woman he loves slip away into the arms of someone who treats her with far less respect? That image burns into a man's soul. It leaves him asking questions he may never say out loud. Why wasn't I enough? Why did she walk away from love, from safety, from everything I gave? Tonight, I'm going to reveal the truth that most men never hear, because society has conditioned you to believe a lie about attraction, about love, and about what women are truly drawn to at their deepest level. You see, women don't always leave because of lack of love. They often leave because of lack of feeling. And here's the part that stings. A man can give his whole heart. He can give his loyalty, his consistency, his calm presence. But if he does it in a way that makes her feel safe yet uninspired, she will eventually start to crave something that stirs her emotions, even if it's toxic. That doesn't mean she's right. It doesn't mean she's justified. But it does mean there's a hidden psychology at play that every man must understand if he doesn't want to wake up one day and watch her walk out the door. Attraction, for a woman, is not simply about kindness or provision or being a good guy. Those are valuable. Those are necessary. But they are not enough. Because women don't fall in love with logic. They fall in love with how you make them feel. And when those feelings die, or when they're never fully sparked, she starts to drift. She notices men who stir her emotions in ways she can't explain. Men who trigger excitement, tension, even frustration. Men who carry unpredictability, dominance, or a darker edge. That's why so many women leave what looks like the perfect relationship on the outside and run headfirst into something that everyone else sees as destructive. It's not that she wants to be hurt. It's not that she wants chaos. What she's craving, what her psychology demands, is intensity. And if she can't find it in you, she may look for it elsewhere. Toxic lovers often embody extremes. They're passionate, they're bold, they break rules, they make her feel like she's on a roller coaster. And even though it's unstable, even though it might damage her in the long run, it feeds a craving she can't always control. Meanwhile, the good man, the man who was steady, who gave everything, he's left in shock, replaying every detail, wondering what he did wrong. The truth is, he didn't fail by being good. He failed by being only good. He forgot that women are wired to crave polarity. They need the fire as much as they need the warmth. They need to feel a man's strength, his independence, his boundaries, not just his unconditional acceptance. When you give without limit, when you accept without challenge, when you're always there no matter what, she may start to take you for granted, and in that comfort, attraction quietly dies. So when you see women leave good men for toxic lovers, don't just shake your head and call her shallow. Understand that she is chasing a feeling she doesn't know how to manufacture in a healthy way. And if you, as a man, learn how to embody both, loyalty with strength, care with fire, stability with unpredictability, you become the man she never wants to leave. Every man wants to believe that if he's good enough, loyal enough, and patient enough, a woman will see his worth and stay by his side. But let me tell you something raw, something most men never hear until it's too late. Goodness alone does not create attraction. Respect does. Boundaries do. Strength does. And the reason so many good men lose women to toxic lovers is because those toxic men, whether intentionally or instinctively, display traits that trigger deep emotional responses. They push against her. They stand in their own frame. They don't bend just to keep her happy. And as twisted as it sounds, that resistance fuels her attraction. Now, before you shake your head in frustration, let me be clear. I am not saying you should be manipulative, cruel, or toxic yourself. That path destroys relationships and lives. What I am saying is this. If you are the man who gives endlessly, who avoids conflict to keep the peace, who puts her needs above yours every single time, you are silently training her to see you as weaker than you truly are. And weakness, to a woman's primal psychology, kills desire faster than any mistake you could make. Think of it like this. Women want to feel like they are with a man who could walk away at any moment, but chooses not to. They don't want to feel like you are trapped, dependent, or clinging to them as if they're your entire world. A woman respects a man who can stand alone, who can say no when needed, who is not afraid to lose her if it means staying true to himself. That kind of man radiates strength. That kind of man becomes unforgettable. The toxic lover, ironically, often shows flashes of this energy. He doesn't always care if she stays or goes. He sets his own pace. He brings unpredictability that keeps her on edge. And even though that unpredictability can hurt her, it also hooks her emotionally. She feels alive. She feels challenged. She feels something she doesn't feel with the man who gives her everything without question. This is where so many good men misunderstand women. They think love is enough. They think being steady and safe will keep her forever. But safety without passion is suffocation. Security without spark is boredom. And boredom is one of the most dangerous poisons in a relationship. A woman would rather feel heartbreak than feel nothing at all. And that is why she sometimes runs to a man who doesn't deserve her loyalty, because at least with him, she feels. So what does this mean for you? It means you must stop believing that the way to keep a woman is to sacrifice your fire, your edge, your individuality. It means you must embody both sides of the coin, the protector and the challenger, the safe place and the storm. When you learn to balance those energies, you stop being the man she tolerates and become the man she fears to lose. Men who master this truth never again sit in the silence of an empty room, wondering why their devotion wasn't enough. They understand that women don't leave good men because they want to. They leave because they crave something they aren't getting. And it's up to you to make sure that craving is met by you, not by someone else who will only use and break her. If you've ever sat across from a woman and watched her eyes fade, watched the sparkle turn into distance, you know the quiet terror of sensing she's already halfway gone. She'll tell you everything is fine. She'll say she loves you. She'll kiss you goodnight. But deep down, you feel it. The shift. It's subtle at first. Less excitement when you walk in the room. Less urgency in her touch. More time on her phone. More excuses for why she's tired, busy, or distracted. And this is the moment where most men make their biggest mistake. They panic. The panic makes them chase. They start doing even more to win her back. More gifts, more compliments, more bending to her moods, more desperate attempts to fix what they can't quite name. And every one of those actions, though they come from love, only drives her further away. Because a woman can sense when a man is chasing her approval instead of standing in his own power. And nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. Meanwhile, the so-called toxic lover isn't chasing. He's not bending. He's not panicking when she pulls away. He stays centered in himself, and whether consciously or not, that confidence becomes magnetic. She starts comparing the two. One man clings, the other stands tall. One man begs, the other challenges. And her emotions pull her toward the one who makes her feel the intensity she craves, even if he's not the healthier choice. Now here's the part most men never hear. Women don't consciously want to leave the good man. They don't wake up one morning and say, I want chaos over love. Number. They fight with themselves internally. They tell themselves, he's perfect, he treats me so well, he would never hurt me. And yet their emotions whisper something else. But I don't feel alive with him anymore. This internal conflict torments them until, eventually, emotions win. Women will almost always follow emotion over logic. And when that happens, the good man is left broken, confused, and doubting his entire worth. But the truth is, he wasn't abandoned because he lacked value. He was abandoned because he lacked polarity. He gave her comfort but not challenge. He gave her stability but not passion. He gave her certainty but not tension. A woman needs both to remain fully invested. She needs to feel safe enough to trust you, but challenged enough to chase you. Remove one side and the balance collapses. This is why the strongest relationships are not the ones without conflict, but the ones where a man is unafraid to hold his ground, when he can say no with calm authority, when he can enforce boundaries without apology, when he can show passion not just through affection, but through intensity, dominance, and unwavering presence. That is when a woman's respect deepens. That is when her desire grows instead of fades. So if you are a man who has felt the sting of being left for someone less deserving, understand this: you were never too good. You were too predictable. You weren't abandoned because you lacked love. You were abandoned because you didn't create the kind of emotional storm that keeps her captivated. And until you learn to bring both the calm and the chaos, the warmth and the fire, you will always risk losing her to a man who knows how to spark her emotions, even if he's toxic. Let's strip away the illusion and face the raw truth. Women don't just want love, they want to feel alive. And being alive means experiencing contrast, light and shadow, peace and chaos, safety and danger. That's why women can stay with a man who never raises his voice, who never challenges her, who worships the ground she walks on, and still secretly dream about a man who unsettles her, excites her, and even frustrates her. It's not because she wants to suffer, it's because she craves emotional polarity. Without it, her heart starves, even if her life looks perfect on the outside. Toxic lovers, whether they know it or not, embody this polarity. They're unpredictable, sometimes affectionate, and other times distant. They spark jealousy, passion, and urgency. They create highs so high and lows so low that a woman feels addicted. And addiction to emotion is one of the strongest forces in the human mind. This is why women often return to men who hurt them. They don't go back for the pain, they go back for the intensity. They confuse intensity with love because intensity makes them feel. But here's where the good man has the advantage, if he understands the game. You don't need to be toxic to create intensity. You don't need to manipulate her, belittle her, or play games. What you need is strength. A strength that she feels in your words, your boundaries, your presence, your refusal to be bent. A man who commands respect while still showing love creates the same addictive emotions, but without destruction. He becomes both the storm and the shelter, and that combination is nearly impossible for a woman to walk away from. The mistake most good men make is trying to keep peace at all costs. They confuse kindness with weakness. They confuse unconditional acceptance with love. But a woman doesn't want to be accepted no matter what she does. She wants to be held accountable by a man who refuses to lose himself for her. When you let her walk all over you, when you say yes to everything, when you never challenge her decisions, you aren't loving her. You're abandoning yourself. And women don't respect men who abandon themselves. Respect is the foundation of desire. A woman can admire your kindness. She can appreciate your loyalty, but if she doesn't respect your strength, she cannot sustain her attraction. And that is why she drifts toward men who carry darker edges. Even if they're unstable, even if they're flawed, they show something she craves: self-prioritization. Toxic men put themselves first, and while it destroys the relationship long-term, it radiates confidence in the short term, and confidence is magnetic. The lesson for you is simple but not easy. Stop giving up your power in the name of being a good guy. Start drawing lines, start enforcing boundaries, start embracing conflict instead of avoiding it. You are not loving her by erasing yourself. You are loving her by showing up as a man who refuses to be anything less than strong. When you do this, you don't just keep her attention, you keep her respect. And when a woman respects you, she will fight for you, even in the face of temptation. So remember this: women don't leave good men because they want pain. They leave because the good man forgets to be powerful. Combine goodness with strength, and you become the man she never dares to leave. There's a bitter irony that most men discover only after heartbreak. The very qualities they thought would secure a woman's love are often the ones that smother her attraction. You think giving more, sacrificing more, forgiving more will make her see your value. But in reality, when you give without balance, you start to feel less like her lover and more like her servant. And no matter how much she says she loves you, a woman cannot remain in love with a man she does not admire. Admiration is the oxygen of desire. Without it, intimacy becomes routine, affection becomes obligation, and slowly but surely, her heart begins to wander. This is why women sometimes leave men who would never hurt them and chase after men who seem careless with their love. It's not about the carelessness. It's about the strength underneath it. Even when toxic lovers mistreat women, they radiate an aura of self-importance, a refusal to give themselves away too cheaply. And while it destroys her long-term happiness, it ignites her short-term obsession. Now here's the hard truth. Many good men are addicted to approval. They don't realize it, but every gesture, every sacrifice, every yes comes from a hidden need to be validated by her. You're terrified of disappointing her, of making her angry, of losing her. So you give and give, not out of strength, but out of fear. And women can feel that fear. It seeps into your presence, into your voice, into your body language. And the more she feels it, the less she sees you as a man she can truly surrender to. Think about the kind of men women daydream about. It's rarely the one who bends over backwards to please her. It's the one who walks into a room with quiet confidence, who doesn't need her validation because he validates himself. The one who can say no without flinching, who doesn't crumble under pressure, who leads with strength even if it risks upsetting her. That man doesn't just attract her, he awakens something primal in her. He becomes the man she feels drawn to, not just the man she feels comfortable with. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant or cruel. It means you must stop building your identity around her approval. Because the second she senses that she is your world, she loses the urge to fight for you. Why? Because she already has you. There's no tension, no mystery, no sense of risk. And without risk, there's no desire. The healthiest relationships are not built on one person giving everything and the other taking. They're built on a balance of power, mutual respect, mutual desire, and mutual challenge. When you can look at her and say, "I love you, but I will not betray myself for you," she feels something deeper than comfort. She feels trust. Trust that you won't collapse under pressure. Trust that you are strong enough to lead her through storms. Trust that you are not afraid to lose her if it means staying true to yourself. And here's the paradox. When a woman senses you don't need her, that's when she wants you most. Because desire thrives in scarcity, not abundance. The man who clings gets abandoned. The man who stands tall, even if she threatens to leave, becomes unforgettable. That's the man she compares every other man to. That's the man she regrets walking away from. Every man who has been left for someone toxic asks himself the same haunting question. What did he have that I didn't? And the answer, though painful, is this. He had the ability to spark emotions you didn't allow yourself to create. He wasn't better. He wasn't more worthy. He wasn't even safer. But he was unpredictable. And unpredictability creates intensity. And intensity is what keeps women locked in, even when logic screams they should run. Now, the tragedy is not that women fall for toxic men. The tragedy is that good men never learn to combine their goodness with power. They polarize themselves. They believe they have to be either the safe, steady provider or the cold, arrogant risk-taker. But that's a lie. The truth is that the most magnetic men are both. They can hold her when she breaks, but they can also challenge her when she tests. They can make her feel safe, but they can also make her heart race. They can be her rock and her storm. If you've been left behind, you need to hear this. It wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because you weren't whole. You gave her comfort without tension, loyalty without boundaries, devotion without strength. And while those things make you noble, they don't make you unforgettable. The man she dreams about at night, the one she fears to lose, is the man who carries both. The warmth she can trust and the edge she cannot control. So what does this mean for you moving forward? It means you must stop playing small, stop giving away your power to keep the peace. Stop believing that sacrifice alone will win her loyalty. Stand in your own frame, reclaim your fire, show her the side of you that is unshakable, the side that refuses to beg, the side that is willing to walk away if she cannot respect you. Because that's the paradox every man must learn. The more you are willing to lose her, the more she will fight to keep you. Remember, women don't leave good men because they want destruction. They leave because they are starving for emotions they can't find in comfort alone. But if you learn to be the man who provides both comfort and challenge, both security and intensity, both love and strength, you will never again wonder why she strayed. Because she will see in you what she could never find in him, a man who embodies the full spectrum of what her soul craves. And here's where your story changes. The next time a woman tests you, instead of panicking, you stand tall. The next time she pulls away, instead of chasing, you hold your ground. The next time you feel fear rising inside, you remember this truth. Women respect strength more than sacrifice. And when you master that balance, you stop being the man she leaves, and you become the man she cannot replace. Question for you. Have you ever given everything to a woman only to watch her leave for someone who gave her far less? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. And if this message hit you deep, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this today. Let's help more men understand the truths about women no one ever taught us.